In this video, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 best Galaxy Opal cards right now in NBA 2K23 Myteam. Just quickly going over some honorable mentions. Cards like Billy Knight, Mike Bantam, Scottie Pippen, Vince Carter. I just think at the shooting guard position, I like a little bit more, or I like Glenn Rice a little bit more than those specific cards. But if you want to put Billy Knight, Mike Bantam over a card like Glenn Rice, I think that's perfectly cool to do so. I just like Glenn Rice a tad bit more than Billy Knight because of his jump shot. I think he's got a great release in the game that I can personally time really well. And then also that Trae Young escape I think is super nice to have on every single card in the game. And then he also does have front clutches. So for me personally, I think Glenn Rice is the 10th best Galaxy Opal card. At the number 9 spot is going to be Galaxy Opal Jonathan Isaac. He's a really good defensive small forward, 6'11" with a 7'2" wingspan. And if we're talking about defense, he's still probably like a top 3 to 5 defender in the game, which is going to be super valuable at that small forward position. And guys, let me know in the comment section down below, who are your guys' favorite Galaxy Opal cards to use right now in the game, and let me know what you guys would change about my top 10. But looking at Jonathan Isaac, I mean, he's got great defensive stats, 98 block, 95 steal, 97 lateral quickness, 95 perimeter, 95 interior defense. He's got tons and tons of good Hall of Fame defensive badges. And then even offensively, like, he's not a terrible offensive card. I've always said this, like, he can still create his own shot if he needs to, and he can knock down wide open threes very consistently once you do get used to his jump shot. So I feel like for me personally, Jonathan Isaac is going to be the 9th best Galaxy Opal card. At the number 8 spot, I feel like it's really close between Sengun and Scottie Barnes. So I got Sengun at 8, and then I do have Scottie Barnes at 7, but I think they're basically the same card at this point. Like, I mean, for me, I like Scottie Barnes just a tad bit more because of his defense and his rim running ability. I think he's got better SIGs. I mean, he's got the John Wall escape and the Steve Francis size up, compared to Sengun does have the Kyle Lowry size up and the Trae Young escape. So I would say Sengun's got the better escape, but then Scottie Barnes has got the way better size up. But I think also, like, just in game, that Scottie Barnes is a lot quicker, you know, with the ball in his hands, and I also do prefer his jump shot over Sengun. So if you want to have Sengun over Scottie Barnes, I think that's perfectly cool to do so. I just like Scottie Barnes a tad bit more. So number 8 for me personally is going to be Sengun, a really good defender. You know, he's got a decent jump shot and very good dribble sigs, like I said, with the Trae Young escape. I think he's just a better version of a Ben Simmons. He's just Ben Simmons with maybe a little bit worse defense and a little bit worse size, but then he's got a way better jump shot and way better movement in game. And then, like I said, number 7 for me personally is going to be the Galaxy Opal Scottie Barnes, very elite defender in the game, one of the best point guard defenders. And then going to the basket, he just feels super quick in game and also does have the quick drops off one. I'm actually kind of curious now, I forgot to check. Yeah, Sengun's also got quick drops. I would say Scottie Barnes got slightly better dunk packages, at least that's just what it feels like in game. But at the number 6 spot is going to be Galaxy Opal Danny Ferry. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like this card as much as when he first dropped, but I still think he's a really good offensive small forward. He's 6'10" with a 7'2" wingspan, still one of the better offensive small forwards in my team. He's got a 97 3 ball, 96 mid-range, 95 speed, 95 acceleration. He can still drive to the basket with the best of them. Like, he's pretty good at going to the rim. He also does have front clutches and quick drops off one, which are the 2 best dunk packages in the game. And then you take a look at the dribble sigs. He's got that Steph Curry escape, which means he can Curry slide. So a 6'10" small forward Curry sliding with an amazing jump shot. It sometimes does get really bad load up animations. I will agree on that. Like, there's sometimes this release feels super quick, and then there's also sometimes it feels a little bit slower, and just the release timing sometimes always feels different. But in game, he's still got a really good jump shot that's super quick, and you can get up like in the corner. Like, if you just pass a Danny Ferry in the corner and they don't click on, if you know how to green lightly contested threes, especially in the corner, they're very easy to knock down. And that can be a way to really force your opponent to have to think about Danny Ferry of where he's on the court at all times, because you can just give him the ball and shoot the ball right away, and it's going to be really hard to contest unless your opponent's paying attention and they click on and go for the contest right away. If they don't do that, Danny Ferry most likely going to make the 3. But at my number 5 spot, I do think is going to be the Galaxy Opal Ricky Davis, a really fun card to use as well. I know he's super good, but like, just talking about how fun he is, like, he could really move on the offensive end. Like, if you want to learn how to 3 hunt and just overall shoot threes more than just driving every play, because I found myself that's what I do every single possession, and it kind of gets boring after time just going to the rim and taking the dunk. So I feel like Ricky Davis, if you can't afford a T-Mac, you can't afford a Terry Dishinger, is probably your best option option for somewhat cheap to go ahead and get that 3 hunter, guy that can be really good on the offensive end and still play very good defense in games. You don't have to sacrifice defense to try out a really good offensive card like a Jimmer Fredette or even like a Pete Maravich, all really good offensive cards. It's just you're sacrificing a little bit of height and a little bit of defense at that point guard spot. But with Ricky Davis, he's going to be a very good defender. He's got good size, and then you could really start to learn how to 3 hunt, and it's honestly so much more fun than just room running every play. So Ricky Davis, a very good offensive 2 guard who's got one of the better jump shots in the game. At the number 4 spot is going to be the Galaxy Opal Purvis Allison. For me, I just think all around as a card, he's a little bit better than Ricky Davis. He plays better defense. He's got just as good of a release, and he's also got great dribble sigs. I would say his sigs are maybe as good as Ricky Davis. I mean, the T-Max size up compared to the Garland size up, I do like Purvis Allison size up a little bit better being on Garland, and then the Curryscape compared to the Wallscape really comes down to preference. They both got good dunk packages. I mean, Purvis Allison's got quick drops off one and front clutches, where Ricky Davis only has quick drops. So those front clutches are going to make a massive difference on Purvis Allison having that basically unblockable dunk. And then they also both have the Seth Curry base, except one has Oscar Robertson upper. That's why I do think Ricky Davis has got the better jump shot, because Purvis Allison only has the Klay Thompson upper, but his defense is really good. He's 6'9" at the 3. Like I said, a very good defender, and I just think all around is a little bit better of a card than Ricky Davis. At my number 3 spot though is going to be the new, in my opinion, best point guard in the game, the Galaxy Opal Shaun Livingston. He's a shooting guard point guard, 6'7" with a 6'11" wingspan. I just think this card has legit no flaws, where if you look at all the other point guards in the game, you could probably point out one big flaw about the card. For example, Jimmy Butler got great defensive stats, decent dribble sigs, could maybe have a little bit better sigs on the card, but the big thing is his jump shot. Unless you really like his release, I would say his jump shot is a little bit of a flaw. Cade Cunningham, kind of same thing. His jump shot isn't the greatest. He also feels a little bit slow with the ball in his hands. Devin Booker's really good on the offensive end, sometimes does feel a little bit shorter in game, just his player model, and feels like sometimes he doesn't play the best defense. But if you talk about Shaun Livingston, I mean, he's legit got no flaws in my opinion. One of the better point guard jump shots in the game currently. He's got great dribble sigs, great dunk packages. I mean, even his stats are really complete. Like on the defensive side of things, he's got a 90 interior defense, 94 perimeter, 95 lateral quickness, 95 steal, 85 block. He's got really good playmaking Hoff badges. I mean, just all around, I do think Shaun Livingston is one of the best point guards in the game. Even if you don't think he's the best point guard, I still think you gotta agree he's somewhere in the top 3 to 5 range for most people. And then on my number 2 spot, one of the more just glitchy and I will say like fun for the mode at sometimes, but I also kind of look at it is why did they make AK-47 like the best small forward in the game? Because he originally came out, like when they originally dropped him, he looked to be super like trash because they didn't update anything about the card. But then they went from like him being completely terrible to him being the new best small forward in the game, which I don't hate because he's such a fun card to use. And all around for only about 80,000 MT, he's easily the best value card in the game alongside Ricky Davis. I mean, to be the best small forward in the game and only cost 80,000 MT is ridiculous. Like, I think he's a top 5 to 10 card as well. Like, I would say easily a top 10 card in the game for only 80,000 MT. I feel like everybody should have Kirilenko unless you're running like a super budget team. But yeah, AK, such a good defender. And then offensively, they gave him such a good jump shot. He's got great dribble sigs. The way that I've always said, like the way that I compare him, the way that I've always said I compare him to other cards in the game, to like people on Twitch and just on YouTube and stuff like that. The way that I look at it is Danny Ferry on offense. Like, this is what AK is. He's Danny Ferry on offense with Bill Russell's defense. Now, he might not be as good as Danny Ferry on offense, and he might not be as good as Bill Russell on defense, but it's basically taking those two cards, merging it into one, and then you get AK-47 is the way that I kind of look at this card, because he's got that O'Shea base, which if you guys remember is the same base that Danny Ferry has. And then you take a look at the defensive stats on AK. I mean, he's got pretty much perfect defensive stats. He's only missing, you know, like rebound chaser, pick dodger, workhorse, and brick wall in Hall of Fame, and also box out beast. So not missing too many key, you know, Hall of Fame defensive badges. I mean, just all around, I would say is the second best Galaxy Opal card. And then obviously at number 1, just like the Pink Diamond top 10, Taco's the best Pink Diamond in the game. Yao Ming is easily the best Galaxy Opal. Just one of the more broken OP cards we've ever seen in my team for how early on we got this card. Like, the fact that we got him only on January 20th, like that was what, almost now 3 months ago in about 9 days or 8 days when you guys are watching this video. I mean, like, that's just ridiculous. Like, we've had this card for almost 3 months, and he's still easily the best center in the game. And the only way I see Yao Ming getting dethroned from being the best center is if we get a new Taco Fall, we get a new Yao Ming, or we get like a crazy souped up Simbu Lars, Sean Bradley, Manupal, like a Galaxy Opal or Dark Matter that they really soup out and just make him better than Yao. But yeah, guys, that's going to be my top 10 Galaxy Opal cards. Let me know in the comment section down below. What would you guys change about my top 10? And let me know some of your guys' favorite Galaxy Opal cards I currently use. Like, what Opals are you guys currently running on your squad that you guys are having a lot of fun with and you guys think are the best in the game? But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.